Yeah, so look, the party has indeed already started. Neil Atkinson from the Anfield Wrap has joined me. What did you expect from today? I mean, they couldn't celebrate back in 2020 because of COVID. Did you expect this many to be here? It doesn't start till 2:30.
Yes.
Okay.
Genuinely, I think it's a national event, this, and I mean that in a good way. I think it's a great thing for the city of Liverpool, but also there are Liverpool supporters everywhere, right the way across the country. So there's so many people who've had this in mind as a destination for this bank holiday weekend. The whole last couple of days has been just a constant feeling of carnival around the city. You've had the big weekend as well, which has been great. So this is sort of what I was expecting. It's still overwhelming when you begin to see it and take it all in. And as you say, there's still, it's not even left yet to half two, and it'll take about, I think, somewhere between 3 or I think 5 hours to get all the way round, because we're in the meat of it now, but all the way around the city of Liverpool, there's people who want to acclaim the champions. Yeah,
we're just atop the Canard building, and right below us is the Strand. This is where it's going to end.
Yeah.
Like you say, it starts at 2:30. It's expected, I think, about a 10-mile journey, isn't it? It says 3 to 5 hours. I think we could be looking at longer because there's so many people here today. Like you say, not just people that live in the city, people from all over the world.
Yep. We went to Australia to do some Anfield Wrap live shows in March, which was a phenomenal experience and privilege to get to do it. But there, people were saying to us coming over for the parade, are you certain what day it was going to be? Because I started to say it'll be the bank holiday Monday, the 26th. Before you were meant to say it, I started saying it. And it was always going to be today for obvious reasons. As soon as they got knocked out by Paris Saint-Germain, there was no longer any doubt because they weren't going to be in the Champions League. And it is a global event. I'm saying it's national as well, but it is also global. People are coming from all over because, first and foremost, because they feel as though Liverpool's welcoming. They feel as though, we want this. I want this to have an international feel. I want it to have a national feel. Yes, it's our thing and it's our place, but it's great to invite the world to share in it. And Liverpool's a great city to go out in. It's a great city to come and have a great time in. And that's why people are flocking from across the country here and flocking from abroad.
Yeah, and what they're going to see today is their heroes of a season that perhaps wasn't really expected. Arne Slot took over from Jurgen Klopp. Everyone was like, how's it going to work? It was seamless. Why did it work so well, do you think, Neil?
I think first and foremost, Liverpool are obviously really clever in their recruitment. Slot is a similar manager to Jurgen Klopp, but not the same one. But I think there's something else. The players. There's a little thing I think we rightly acclaim coaches, and I want to be clear about this. I love Arne Slot, and I think he's a genius. But all of that said, those footballers themselves last season got 82 points. They've actually finished now with 84. Listen, they had 82 on 34 games when they won it. Well, 82 points last season's a lot of points. It was a good squad that had an injury crisis last season and still managed to come third with all of that. I'll be honest, I wasn't that surprised. What I'm surprised about is that Arsenal and City weren't able to match Liverpool this season. That Liverpool have got the number of points they've got. I don't think it's that much of a surprise. I don't think it should be. And I think people wanted to have the idea of people don't like Liverpool. Let's be clear, a lot of people like Liverpool. We're telling that story right now and they're coming from everywhere. But I think the punditry almost had the idea of the cost of having Jurgen Klopp is having Jurgen Klopp. That at some point he stops being there like Icarus, you fly too close to the sun. Whereas they missed that Jurgen Klopp and put all the foundations in place. And he said it the day he left. And he also said he didn't have the energy to do the next thing. Well, Arne Slot has had the energy to do the next thing.
Yeah, and it's those people that we just saw there lifting the trophy. He's been able to galvanise them and get them behind him after such a big character like the Jurgen Klopp. So how has he been able to do that? Why has he made really good players even better? He's got the best out of Mo Salah. He's got the best out of Gravenberch. Why has that happened?
I think there's a thing, some of this is tactical, some of it's also psychological. Jurgen was such a big figure that it was almost at times, I think, maybe a little difficult for the players to be able to show themselves. This season, I think it's been Virgil van Dijk's Liverpool. He's led the team as captain, but you felt him much more as a presence around the club, and little hints of things that you pick up. A lot of what's gone on has been Virgil led. Then from the start of the summer, he had Mo Salah. And he's clearly gone to Mo Salah with, and this is how I'm going to get the best out of you. And Mo Salah's completely bought in.
Yeah.
So you end up here where your senior players, your two most important players, are all in and are showing leadership from minute one. Mo very much with his football, Virgil with his football, but his entire personality. And let's be clear, Mo's got some personality as well as he's showing more and more.
Yeah.
Again, is he growing to fill the space? The selfie when it went 4-1 against Tottenham was Mo Salah telling the Liverpool supporters, you can all celebrate now. It was Mo Salah given permission, and that he feels as though he can do that, Mo Salah, and lead in that way, I think is so important. And that's part of why we've ended up where we've ended up. He's given responsibility to Gravenberch, he's given responsibility to McAllister, he's built this side that's going to play in a certain way where it just gets the best out of the players themselves. And I think that towards the end of the season, maybe a few sides have began to do some better analysis on Liverpool and work out. I think Gravenberch was more influential first half of the season than second, but we had the points by then. Yes. We'd amassed the points and we were able to feel as though we were clear, and then it was just a matter of getting through the line. And I think they were almost a little nervous towards the end of the campaign because they didn't want to, have the metaphor of of carrying the Ming bars across the crowded room. They didn't want to do that. They didn't want to have that moment and that slip and that fall, which has happened to Liverpool sides in the past. They wanted to get the job done. And I think that you've seen that in the football in the second half of the season. And those players deserve all the credit in the world, and they deserve all the acclaim they're going to get round here today.
Yeah, the fact that they they did cause an earthquake, didn't they, in the celebrations at Anfield in that game against Tottenham. Do you expect the same today? Do you think that's what this will become, kind of the earthquake again?
I don't think it's going to necessarily hit the Richter scale, but what it is, they get to see, and you can talk about it, we've had them before, this one may well be bigger, but even if it isn't, I'm quite relaxed about it. They get to see, first and foremost, a different type of Liverpool supporter. I'm really lucky. I get to go to all the home games and a fair few aways over the course of a season, but only 3,000 people can go to an away match and support Liverpool. Only 60,000 can be in the ground. For me, parades are democratic. All you need is your bit of concrete, and you can stand there and you can acclaim the champions as they come past. That's it. We're all the same. We're all equal. It's not about who's got access to tickets and who hasn't. We all get to do this. So they're going to get to see the people of Liverpool. They're going to get to see the people who've come from all across the country. They're going to get to see the people who love them, who've come from all over the world. And those people are representing something. They're coming here. Not everyone from Australia can come, but those who do, that's what they're representing. And that's what those players are going to get. They're going to get that. They're going to get to see a different type of Liverpool support. And I want it to be emotional for them. I want it to be warm. It's important. Everyone looks after each other today. We can't have the authorities do that. It's too big. Everyone's got to take care of each other all the way through the day. And I'm hopeful that that's going to happen all the way through. And then when those players come, it is meant to be. It's meant to be an exchange of emotions. And it's all these people saying to them, thank you. Thank you for what you did. In the way in which they've been saying thank you for what you do on a regular basis. We get to give them this gift today, and then they can take it away with them on international duty, and they can come back and we can do it again next year.
The fact that they have equalled Manchester United's tally of 20 titles, does that make this all the more special?
No. Okay. One for them. And I thought the same thing when they won the 6th European Cup, and I always remember Milner ran to the away end and put 6 in the air, his fingers, and it hadn't even occurred to me 6 European Cups until that moment, because I wanted them to have one. That team then deserved that trophy. This team deserves this one. Look, we can all do winding up and laughing at Manchester United, not least because they made it incredibly easy to do, but it's worth saying that ultimately the celebration is about Liverpool. It's about what Liverpool have achieved and what Liverpool are and what this city is and what it wants to be in a global sense. For me, this city, I maintain it's one of the best places to go out, one of the best places to enjoy yourself. I'm proud to be from here, but I want other people to come and see it and have it be showcased. And that's what I want to showcase. I do think nowhere loves football as much as this city, and I include the Evertonians in that as well. I'm not saying that we love it the most. I'm just saying nowhere loves it more. But
okay, but I'll take your word for it with all these people.
Exactly, and that's what it's about. And telling that story that this is, and that this is a city where great things happen. This is a city that believes in itself and backs its people. That's the story that we want to tell today. So yeah, listen. It'll be a laugh when we go to Old Trafford next season, just in the same way it'll be a laugh when we go to the Hill Dickinson next season. It'll be a laugh to be Liverpool as champions and to go everywhere, and yeah, you'll do all the needle stuff, but today isn't about sticking it to anyone else. It's about saying to the world, this is who we are, and this is us at our best.
I spoke to Arne Slot at length actually on Friday, and he talked about the summer being the most important time of the season. I'm guessing he means to sort of reassess that squad and really look at it going forward. How different do you think it'll look come August?
So I think I'm expecting a fair bit of transition, but I'm expecting the nucleus of the players who've won the league still to be here. So I'd be really surprised. There's a little thing around maybe Konate's contract, but I'd expect, with the exception of Trent Alexander-Arnold and the backup goalkeeper Kelleher, who has played a lot of games this season, by the way, this league title belongs to him as much as anyone else. They're the two who I think who've got a certain number of games who I think won't be here. I think everyone else will be. And I think that's important. But there will be new players, there will be additions then to supplement those lads who've won this league. And I think that Liverpool's squad will improve by moving on some squad players and bringing in some new starters and turning other players into maybe being a bit more of a squad player. So I'm expecting this is a long-winded way, as ever with me, and apologies. This is a long-winded way of saying I expect Liverpool's first team to be as strong as this season, if not stronger, whilst Liverpool are going to go through a little bit of a transition and a shift. I also think if it's Arne Slot, when he says that to you, he's also thinking of coaching time. You know, it's hard to be a football manager when you play 3 games a week, when you've got the midweek games. I think he probably can't wait to say, well, that was last season's idea, but now with a few new players, we're also going to go a little bit in a different direction, and we're going to play this way next season. And I'm expecting him to want to continually develop his own coaching. We miss he's actually quite a young coach on top of everything else, because he's done so well, and he seems very much like your dad. He's very mature and calm and composed, but he is still quite a young coach. So I think he'll have his ideas as to how he wants Liverpool to play next season. And it might be that we've only just scratched the surface of what it is that he wants. And if that's the case, it's another reason to be excited.
He also talked about a turning point in this season. You know, he said that when back in November, when they beat both City and Real Madrid, he felt that was a bit of a momentum shift. For you, what was your favourite moment, do you think, of the season? I
think it's really important that they win at Old Trafford in the third game of the season. It's his second away game. And the reason why it's important is because we didn't win there last season and we were much the better side. We went there twice and we didn't win on either occasion. And we went there this season, much the better side, but then we're 2-0 up at half-time, not just 1-0. And it was a real moment, I think, where all the players were able to buy into what Slot was about, but also we could all see the results. And I think that obviously, you did not win the league that day. But I think that made that away end that I was in that day, when I was speaking to everyone afterwards, there was a fair bit of, we could do something here, which was great energy to have. And suddenly I think that just became, we were chatting about it quietly, I think, a little bit, but there was beginning to be, we're on the march. There's something happening. And obviously we didn't know that United were going to go on and have the season that they had, but Liverpool were just so imperious. And I think that's a big day. The manager's right to mention that against Madrid and Real and Manchester City that big week.
Yeah.
The other one I think is massive is when they win at Brentford. They draw midweek against Nottingham Forest. Better side second half. Forest were, as they've been all season, robust first half. They were hanging on, but we didn't quite get it done. Forest defended really well. Goalkeeper was great. But Arsenal beat Spurs in the same midweek. Then we played Brentford. It was 0-0 on 89 minutes. Nunez gets that brace. And then from there, that evening, Arsenal play Aston Villa. They were 2-0 up and it went back to 2-2. And it almost feels like Nunez's goals that day were worth 4 points, not 3. That it was that valuable. I think it really rattled Arsenal that we managed to turn that one round. Perfectly human. That happens to all football teams at all times. And then from there, I think you can almost say that's a little bit of where the maths just began to bend into Liverpool's favour. Yeah. And we never really looked back.
In one word, because it's the last question I'm going to ask you, they're going to do it again next season? He did do it in one word. Neil, it's been brilliant to talk to you as always.